Creepy facts about the Denver International Airport, because something fucky is going on there. I mean, for one, it is twice the size of the Boston, San Francisco, and Miami airports. And every few months during construction, they would change contractors. So nobody really knows what the hell is going on over there. Like, no one knows the full layout of the airport. And there's at least 5 buildings that they decided to bury. There's also potentially hundreds of underground bunkers. Why does an airport need that many underground bunkers, or any underground bunkers? Actually, let's start out with all the weird ass artwork everywhere at this airport. Starting out with the 32-foot, 9,000-pound demonic blue horse with red eyes, nicknamed Blucifer. By the way, this possessed statue basically unalived its creator. Like, a piece of it fell off during construction and severed an artery on the artist. A lot of people do believe that it represents one of the 4 horsemen, which honestly is in line with the rest of the art at this place. And this isn't even scratched the surface, so come watch tomorrow's video, which is gonna be another one on the creepy facts about the Denver International Airport.
Every 3 years, like clockwork, I re-deep dive down the lore of the Denver International Airport between the hours of 1 to 2 a.m. any given day. Doesn't matter when it's gonna happen, but it always happens every 3 years. For those of you who have not been down this rabbit hole before, I'm gonna take you down there with me because it's just so insane. All alleged, by the way. Have your own mind. You can make your own interpretations. Okay, we're all adults here. Maybe, some of us, not all of us. To understand how crazy some of the stuff they actually have inside the airport is, you kind of have to understand a little bit of the history. So the process of building this airport actually started in September of 1989. It came in to replace the Stapleton Airport, which was a perfectly fine airport. There really wasn't any issues with it, maybe some debates about it overcrowding a little bit. Officials came in and they were like, actually, we're gonna close down this airport, open up a new one, make it bigger than Boston, as well as Miami, San Francisco, Paris, and Manhattan. We're gonna set the budget at, let's say, like $2 billion. They're putting a lot of money into this airport, making it massive. But this is not what happened. They ended up opening up 2 years late because they had so many construction mishaps. Several of the buildings were constructed very incorrectly, whether it was the wrong location, wrong size, a design flaw. Ultimately, instead of demolishing these buildings, which is like the normal way to get rid of a building, they were like, oh, just bury it. Huh? Ultimately, around 5 to 6 of these buildings were just buried. During the process of building, they were also hiring out a lot of different contractors. So it's thought that there isn't like a singular person that really knows the full scale and full capacity that is DIA. There's a lot of people online that theorize that maybe some of these buildings that were buried underground are being used for something else. There's a lot of people online that have said that maybe these buildings are being used for something else, such as an underground bunker. For who, you might ask? We'll get into that. By the time they were done constructing everything, the final cost was $4.8 billion. Maybe I don't know enough about airports and the things that go into it, but $2 billion over the budget seems a lot, seems excessive. A lot of people have also commented on the shape of the airport as well, which appears to look like a very frowned upon symbol. I don't know if I can say that on here, which I don't really see this one as much unless you're like really looking for it. But one of the designs about the place that does truly creep me out is that the whole thing is surrounded by barbed wire that's facing inwards, almost as if you're keeping something trapped in as opposed to keeping something out. And you might be thinking, oh, that is kind of a weird construction process, but at least it ends there, right? Well, the way that they've decorated this place is really what's fueled the rumors, starting with the massive colorful murals that are inside. These murals have this eerie post-apocalyptic feel to them, with a military figure and children and women looking like they're at his feet. It also looks like he's unaliving a bird in one of these. But the artist has come forward and been like, no, I didn't mean for this to frighten anyone. This is just supposed to be about world peace. I totally understand that art is very interpretive for everyone, but for me personally, and it seems like for a lot of other people, I just don't feel relaxed or at peace whenever I look at some of these images. But we are literally just scratching the surface.
I'm also not forgetting what the Denver airport lady was saying, because now them announcing that they're not going to be checking shoes basically in TSA, that's kind of weird. I mean, like, to announce that and like now everyone knows like that, you know, they're no longer checking shoes, like, not to fearmonger again, but like that lady in the Denver airport was like, some shit is coming and y'all need to be aware, need to know, need to be tapped in, like, understand. And I'm just like, them broadly saying like, we won't be checking shoes anymore. I'm just like, that's like giving, I don't know, like wrong timing. Like, that's not maybe what we should be telling people right now. I don't know. It could just be me. Like, I could just be making up things in my mind, but like, I wasn't even thinking about that at first, but now it's like, wow. I mean, like, weren't people already caught trying to smuggle in some sort of fungus that was like flesh eating and would eat all of the agriculture? Like, I don't know, just things like that. And then them announcing like, oh yeah, but no more, you know, taking off your shoes for TSA. It's like, okay, weird timing with everything going on in the world, like right now specifically, you know what I mean? But okay, like, I guess, I don't know, it's just a little weird, I don't know.
International Airport is the most monstrous conspiracy theory. I don't know whether to start with the fact that it's twice the size of Boston, Miami, and San Francisco. Or that every several months during construction, they switched contractors so that no one knows the full layout of the airport. Not to mention, there's at least 5 buildings that they decided to bury, and there's potentially hundreds of underground bunkers. So I'll just start it off simply with the terrifying artwork in this airport. Denver Airport welcomes you with this inviting 32-foot, 9,000-pound statue of this demonic horse with red eyes nicknamed Lucifer. This possessed statue essentially murdered its creator when a piece of it fell off during construction and severed its artery. A lot of people believe that it represents one of the 4 horsemen who will usher in the apocalypse, which seems far-fetched until you see the artwork they have in the Denver airport. What better way to get in the mood for a flight than to walk past this mural of a soldier stabbing a dove holding a rifle standing over unconscious children? The gas mask and decaying city are also a nice touch. Phone is rebelling because it was supposed to update months ago and I keep putting it off, so it won't let me post the second even more terrifying picture, but I'll post it tomorrow along with even crazier stuff.
This story was sent in by someone who says that they worked at the Denver International Airport in maintenance, did not give me a job title, did not want their real name used. And what they said they saw there, you're not gonna like. We all know the lore about Lucifer and the creepy murals, but just because this story contains the content that it does, I'm just going to go ahead and say that I can't prove the validity of any of these stories. This is just what someone sent me, and this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm going to call this person M, and M started their email by saying that they probably shouldn't be sending this, but they think that I'm one of the only people, and this audience is some of the only people that are going to believe them, because other people have said that this is basically just increasing paranoia. So take from this what you will, but this person worked in operations/maintenance and had access and clearance for some areas that are not generally accessible to the public. These areas inaccessible to the public are really nothing to write home about. They're just sublevels, maintenance corridors, and airside logistics zones, really just the guts of the place. But this person said they were writing because something is happening down there and something still might be happening down there. And there was a group of between 6 and 8 men wearing black suits and sunglasses that would show up around a specific gate between 3:30 and 3:40 in the morning. I'm not going to say the specific gate just in case that's sensitive information, but these people were not average business travelers. They had no name tags, no luggage, no chatter among them. They were dead silent. They looked and behaved very similarly, but there were noticeable differences. It wasn't like they were clones of each other. They would just stand at this gate. And at first this person thought it was military related or something related to security that they didn't have clearance to know about. But it was weird because nothing was coming or going from that gate at this hour in the morning. And they weren't there every night, but they were there a lot. And so this person started asking around about them, but nobody knew who they were. When they were there, security did not log them. And then when they tried to review files from this corridor, I'm not sure exactly what that means, those files were missing or corrupted. But then M says it got worse. These men never moved. They never spoke to each other. But if you made eye contact with them, you felt it. M said it was like they were looking through you, like they knew everything that you had ever done wrong. At one point, they passed these people, and one of the men removed his sunglasses, and M said that his eyes were completely black, not like his pupils, like all of his eyes were completely black. M said there are tunnels beneath the C terminal that are not on any blueprint, but M has witnessed them. And this is where the men would go. One night, M followed them from a distance, moved in unison, silently, like their feet were barely touching the floor. They went toward a service elevator in sublevel 5, which M said is supposed to be inactive, but M heard it move. M says as M got closer, they swear that they saw one of the men holding a black triangle that looked like it was made of liquid. They held it up to this door and the door opened. M goes back to their respective station and says that their badge had been deactivated by the time they got back. M says nobody could explain it. It had to be walked out by a supervisor who wouldn't look M in the eye. A few days later, they had it all resolved and they said it was a tech misread. After that, M was only ever scheduled on the A terminal side, never C. M said the last night they worked at the airport, there was a lockdown drill. It was supposed to be a test, but the tones were wrong, and they had only heard this tone frequency one other time, which was a night that all of the lights in Terminal C had gone out. During the time of the drill, M was in Terminal Terminal A working on a maintenance call. The radio went off from Terminal C, but there was nothing on the other end. It was just static. When they got back to the main terminal after the drill ended, they saw them, all the men in black suits standing inside the TSA line. No one stopped them, no one scanned them, and every single monitor on the displays behind them had glitched out to say a specific gate in Terminal C. M was called to their supervisor's office where they were let go for a security incident. Would not clarify. They ended their email by saying, I don't know if this qualifies for Spooky Scary Storytime, but I just wanted to put this information out there in case it helps anyone put any pieces together. They said, I just needed someone to know that it happened. So I don't really know too much about the Denver airport. Again, I know some of the lore, but if you can make any sense of this, let me know. And again, just to be safe, this story is for entertainment purposes only. If you have a Spooky Scary Story Time, I would love to read it. Let me know your thoughts.
You could not convince me that something's not going on with the Denver airport. This goes beyond conspiracy theories and rabbit holes. Everything about that place is so eerie, from the maps to the art, everything around it. Now they have this new gargoyle, and it sounds like Robin Williams, but it's AI powered. They say that it's there temporarily, but when people walk by, it talks to it, and it has cameras watching it. So if somebody's on their phone, it's like, get off the phone. It started talking to this lady with the cleaning cart. It was like, let me borrow your cart. And it's just a bit too eerie. And the question is always why? Because is this supposed to be a Mandela effect? Is this a distraction? Is it a Matrix glitch? Why is it that there's always something bizarre when it comes to the Denver airport? Furthermore, a couple of months ago, there was that lady who was quite literally on her knees, and she was saying that she was being held against her will, that for the sake of the lives of her children, she needed people to listen to her because things were going to happen soon. And everyone was so desensitized, they just walked by her, disregarded her. Everybody's too overstimulated, too worried about their own obligations to even be concerned about people when they're acting crazy. And that's what is disregarded like. It's like, oh, there's just another person acting crazy. Welcome to 2025. But there's always something weird when it comes to the Denver airport. Let me know your thoughts about it. Have you been there? If you haven't, save this video, go look into some of the events that happened there, come back, share your thoughts. Whatever else comes out, I'll be back with more. Per usual, implore you to do your research, but this is all alleged. Can't confirm or deny any of it, but make sure you like, follow, stay for some more tea.
Let's talk about Denver Airport. There's a chilling theory surrounding that place. No one really knows why it was built in the first place. Denver already had a fully functioning airport downtown, yet they chose to construct this one, spending $2 billion over budget and finishing 2 years late. Strange, right? But what's really unsettling is the 5-story underground facility beneath the airport. Some believe it's a doomsday bunker for the elite. Officials, however, claim it's just an unused baggage system. Still, that doesn't explain the eerie atmosphere. All over the airport, there are disturbing murals, images of destruction, chaos, and even apocalyptic scenes, complete with monstrous figures. Then there's the infamous Blue Horse statue, nicknamed Blucifer. It stands over 30 feet tall with glowing red eyes. Even stranger, the artist who created it tragically died during its construction when a piece of the horse fell on him, killed instantly. Yet, they completed it anyway. And if that wasn't enough, there are rumors of 2 secret runways, supposedly used by the government. Then there's the time capsule, buried in 1994 and set to remain sealed until 2094. Could it hold the key to these bizarre mysteries? Only time will tell.
What is going on at the Denver airport? This story is especially scary because I know the person that it happened to, and it's recent, like just happened this weekend over the holiday. Got a call from a friend of mine. She was freaking out because she had a layover yesterday at the Denver airport and she'd never been there before. It was like a short time frame. It was like a delay from her takeoff. Anyway, she was running late. So she gets to the gate. The woman at the gate was like, hey, your gate's been changed. You know, no big deal. That happens all the time. So she tells her that she needs to go to G6. Points in like a direction, like go that way, and just kind of sends her on her way. So she's like going, she sees like a weird sign that tells her to like go down a hallway or something. She said that as she's walking down the hallway, she saw payphones. And she said, I have not seen a payphone and I don't even know how long. And then it started looking like really old, outdated. So she's immediately like, what's happening? She gets to the room, she sees that it says G6, and she said it wasn't even like a normal gate. It was like a room with no windows. It was really weird. She said it was yellow on the inside. So she's describing it and I'm like, ugh, I hate liminal spaces. And she didn't know what that meant. But anyway, there were a few people in there, but she said they were not moving. No one had their phones out. She kept trying to like connect her phone to the Wi-Fi and it just kept like glitching and restarting. She said that she specifically remembers looking at the clock and the clock said 2:14 and she was relieved that she had like 16 minutes before her flight started boarding. She doesn't travel a lot, so she was already stressed out. So she's sitting there for a few minutes reading a book on her Kindle when she looks up and the clock still said 2:14 and the people had not moved. So she starts getting like really freaked out. So she tries to leave and she goes down the hallway, makes like a turn or whatever, ends up right back where she started. Now she said she was almost like hysterical. She tries to leave again. She comes back in the room and all of the people are gone, but their coats are still on the seat. So this time she leaves the room. She's like running, crying, when she runs into a janitor and tells the janitor like, hey, like, can you help me find like the gate or whatever? He tells her that there's no such thing as G6. Now, I don't go to Denver a lot, so I'm listening to the story, and as she's telling me this on the phone, I pull up my I start looking for it to see if, and they don't have one. She goes to the airline, tells them like, hey, I missed my flight. They pull it up and they're like, there was never a flight. That flight doesn't exist. Like, what are you talking about? And she was like, I have the boarding pass. So she starts like looking for it. And that's when she realized that she left it on the seat that she sat down on in G6. And she tells the lady like, hey, I must have left it like, at that G6, but I'm not going back. And the woman's like, there's no G6. What? I start looking up stuff about the Denver airport, and I didn't know that it has like all of this stuff tied to it. Apparently there's like secret tunnels underneath it. There's some kind of weird, scary statue. So she wanted me to ask if any of you have been to G6 or know anything about that gate. Let me know in the comments, I guess.
Denver International Airport is under some major construction. Normally when an airport's like that, sometimes they'll do cutesy things like harden our dust, but you're gonna fly better in a few months, you know, and like kind of like a little wink that try to make you okay with the fact that you're inconvenienced by the construction. Denver, they're leaning into the fact that people are saying that there are satanic and phallic symbols at the airport.
Oh, I love this.
Construction or cover up.
I love it.
And it has like the eye that's watching the,
what
like
is
from
that
the
called?
Illuminati eye on a construction hat. Are we creating the world's greatest airport or preparing for the end of the world? What are we doing?
Lizard people.
Adding amazing new restaurants and bars, building an Illuminati headquarters, remodeling the lizard people's lair. Learn the truth at denfiles.com.
I love this.